Hi guys! Today we're doing my November wrap-up and I don't have a lot of time before it's time for the baby to go to bed, so I'm just going to jump on into it. First book I read in November was Beyond Ivy Walls by Rachel Fordham. I gave this 4 stars. It was really fun Beauty and the Beast retelling. Kind of more, not as YA as most of the retellings I read are, but still it was really fun and enjoyable. Let's see. And then I read Horton Hears a Hoot to the Baby, 5 stars. Person's a person no matter how small. Just love that. Then I read Toxic Empathy by Allie Beth Stuckey, and this book was incredible. And I think everyone needs to read this, especially if you're in America, but really anybody should read this in the modern day. It was a really important book about a lot of modern issues and how Christians, especially Christian women, can find themselves manipulated by certain parties through their emotions and their empathy. Just really, really powerful book. And I love Allie Stuckey's podcast as well, so not a surprise that I love the book. Alright, next is God's Hostage by Andrew Brunson. This is his memoir of when he was in prison in Turkey for, basically he was in prison for being a believer, and this was a really good and powerful story as well. Highly recommend. I have a lot of books, and I'm just saying the highlights because I'm trying to hurry. Like I said, baby's bedtime's coming up. Then I read, in November, I didn't read these back to back, but I did read the first 2 books in the Wars of the Realm series by Chuck Black, and 5 stars, loved them. They're very different, books 1 and 2 are. I'm reading book 3 now, actually. Books 1 and 2 are very different from each other, but they were both really, really good. Yeah, I think I actually liked book 2 better, but I really enjoyed both of them. Let's see. Other comments from my review are, Sydney is Queen, love her. And Drew's skepticism is rather annoying, but I loved his adherence to the Spider-Man principle. By that I mean, of course, with great power comes great responsibility. Obviously, that's the Spider-Man principle. Then, with my friend Shannon, you know, if I mention Shannon, you know what it is, American Girl Buddy Read. We read the Molly series, and oh my goodness, I love Molly. I didn't remember how much, because I've seen a lot of people comment online about how Molly's kind of a brat, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to love Molly as much as I did as a kid, but I did. She was so precious. I loved her. Yeah, Molly was wonderful. Molly was actually my first American Girl, so it was just really special to get to read her books again. Let's see. Then I read The Bridge to Belle Island by Julie Klassen. Enjoyed this one, 4 stars. I didn't really have many thoughts on it. Just it was a nice, fun Regency mystery. I read Miracles by C.S. Lewis. Gave this 5 stars because C.S. Lewis. It was kind of, I didn't agree with everything he said, but I love how he thinks. He thinks so deeply and so profoundly about things, and yeah, Miracles was really good. Didn't quite, also, I listened to it, so some of it maybe I listened to it on 3 speed because that's what I listen to all my audiobooks on. I listen to all my YouTube videos on 2 speed as well, so like, I listen to things fast. So I'm not sure if I caught everything, but what I did catch was really good. I also read Roverandom by Tolkien. This was so precious and wonderful. I loved it. It was whimsical and sweet. It is about Tolkien. So the backstory of this, at least, is Tolkien and his kids went to the beach. His kids lost their stuffed dog, and he wrote this story to kind of cheer them up about what adventures the dog might have gone on without them. It was just so sweet. I would recommend reading 5 Children in It first by E. Nesbitt, because 5 Children in It, I think, is referenced in this. It's pretty clear, actually, that it's a reference. I think. More Molly. Gave all the Molly books 5 stars, by the way. Just such good childhood feels. I loved it. Still don't understand why Emily is the best friend featured in the doll line, though, because I also read Brave Emily for the best friends line. I'm not sure why Emily is, because she's only in 1 book of the main series. What's up with the Susan and Linda erasure? And then I read A Beautiful Disguise by Rosanna M. White. This was just a really, really, gave this one 4 stars. A really, really fun Edwardian, rather. Edwardian spy mystery, found family. Yeah, just really great. There was one kiss that went a little too far, in my opinion, but I still really enjoyed this book. And I really want to read the rest of the series. My library today, I got notification that my library got book 3 in, but we still don't have book 2. And I'm like, I need to read book 2 before I read book 3, please. Can we make that work, library? Please, please, please. Let's see. Then I read The Woman from Lydia by Angela Hunt. This was a really interesting take on Lydia's story. It was basically, so it's about Lydia from Acts 16, I think it is. And this is basically her story of how she is going to go and help, I guess kind of spoilers for this book, but not really. I think it's sort of clear where the story's going. She's trying to help the slave girl who'd been possessed by a demon, also in Act 16. And it's sort of her determination to go after her and to save her. And it was a really sweet story. Kind of different from the normal Lydia stories, but very interesting. Also read Shield of the Mighty by Connie Lynn Cassette. This one is set during the reign of King Saul in the Old Testament. Did not love that part of the whole premise was that he kidnapped her. That was really weird, but they were really sweet together. I really liked them. I just was not okay with that part. But I did root for them in the end. It was just like, why is this a thing? If this feels like I'm flying, it's because I am. Because like I said, I'm going to have to go put a baby to bed really soon. Let's see. I also read The Sign of the Four by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. This is Sherlock Book 2. I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed A Study in Scarlet, but it was still really fun. And gotta love Sherlock. And yeah. I read Cry of the Raven by Morgan L. Bussey. This was really good, really great wrap up to the series. I don't know, this one might have been my favorite. It was really fascinating, especially the ending, like the whole in battle thing. That was really fun. Let's see. And also, I liked Selena and Damien's character arcs, and I liked how their powers were affected by those arcs. That was a really great addition. That was a really cool world building aspect of it. Let's see. Then I read The Governors of Highland Hall by Carrie Taransky, and I really love this book. The faith was so wonderful. Like, the faith elements were so great in this. And I loved Julia. Julia was just such a wonderful character. I loved her. I loved her strong faith. That was the main thing that I loved about her. She did have some flaws, so she wasn't perfect, but she was incredible, and I'm very happy how much she shows up in the rest of the series as well. Speaking of that, I also read book 2 in November, The Daughter of Highland Hall. I will say for this, I did feel like Kate's conversion, I guess kind of spoilers for The Daughter of Highland Hall, Kate's conversion should have happened on page. It felt like it kind of happened way too off page, because Kate of book 1 was not saved. And somehow Kate of book 2 already was. Like, she never got saved during book 2. I feel like she should have gotten saved. But anyway, it was still a good book. And I loved Jonathan. I loved him. He was great. Wonderful. Love him. Yes. And I've also read Set in Stone, which is book 2 in Treasures of the Earth series by Kimberly Woodhouse. And this is a book about paleontology. And I've mentioned the Jonathan Park audio dramas before. These are what made me interested in paleontology. And so these books are really fun. Don't have a lot to say about that. I don't know if I liked this one better than book 1. I think I liked book 1 better, but this one was still interesting. Alright, so that was a speed run of what I read. I know that was really fast. Favorite book of the month was probably Wars of the Realm. Yeah, probably Wars of the Realm. Oh, I forgot the last few. I forgot what I gave them. I gave Woman from Lydia and Shield of the Mighty and Sign of the Four. And the 2 characteristic books and Set in Stone, I gave all of those 4 stars. And then I gave Cry of the Raven and Rover Random 5 stars. I think those are the only ones I missed. Oh, and Beautiful Disguise got 4 stars. And all the Molly books got 5. Yeah, I think that's all I missed. Yeah, but I think Wars of the Realm was probably my favorite series so far. So let's talk about my readathon that I hosted, because I hosted the C.S. Lewis readathon this month, in case you didn't know, which you probably did. So I blacked out the board. My prompts that I filled, or the books I filled with each prompt, are Narnia, a middle grader fantasy. I read Cry of the Raven. Let's see, Mere Christianity, a Christian nonfiction. I read Miracles. This was the group read. And I'm so glad that for everybody that popped in and joined us on Voxer to discuss this. This was really fun. I'm glad a lot of people read that with us. Next, I read Space Trilogy, a sci-fi. For this, I counted Cloak of the Light. It might not be a sci-fi. but like it kind of was a sci-fi, right? Like it's kind of sci-fi-ish with the talk about like all the acceleration of light stuff. Like that felt very sci-fi. So we're gonna say it's sci-fi. It's at least teetering on sci-fi. Next we have Till We Have Faces, a female main character, and I counted A Beautiful Disguise. Most of my books have female main characters at this point, I think. Sometimes it's hard to tell who's the main character, but I think this one, it was probably, this one I think probably counts enough. Then was Screwtape Letters, A Spiritual Warfare or Epistolary, and Rise of the Fallen, because that's definitely spiritual warfare. Definitely. Book by another Inkling, Four Loves, book by another Inkling. That was real random, because it was written by Tolkien. A book that inspired Lewis for Discarded Image, Sign of the Four, because in Magician's Nephew, of course, there is the opening line of in the days when Sherlock Holmes was living on Baker Street. Something like that. It says in Magician's Nephew in the opening. Then Surprised by Joy, a Christian nonfiction. I read God's Hostage by Andrew Benson. And then Great Divorce, Stubborn Characters. I counted Bridge to Bell Island because several stubborn characters, especially the main character, like she refused to leave the island for like years. She also had panic attacks because of it, so like she wasn't just refusal, but she was also pretty stubborn, I'd say. So that is everything I read in the month of November. Thank you very much for everybody who participated in the C.S. Lewis Readathon. I was so happy to see all the people who were taking part. Please let me know in the comments down below what your favorite book of November was, and if you took part in the C.S. Lewis Readathon, let me know how many prompts you filled and what you read for each prompt. Sorry this was so fast, but like I said, it's very late, and I'm filming this after 9 o'clock at night now, and it was supposed to go up today, and it's not going to go up till tomorrow probably, so, or very late tonight at best, so yeah. I needed to get this done, and I needed to knock it out, so I gotta go put a baby to bed. Please like and subscribe, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.